this week goes out to Carlee Nicole Russell of Hoover, Alabama. This is how we were initially introduced to Carlee. Jesse, the receipts.
This is where Carlee was last seen, here on I-459 near John Hawkins Parkway in Hoover. On Thursday evening, police say Carlee called 911, saying a toddler was walking down the side of the interstate. After calling police, she stopped to get the child and called a family member. When police arrived, they found her car and belongings nearby, but no sign of her or the child. Family members now on the search for Carlee, her parents desperate for her return.
To keep applying the pressure to keep this thing going. We really want this to blow up. We want the word of the day to be Carlee. We just want to have her back home safe.
Now, law enforcement, local organizations, and Anaya Blanchard's mom, Angela Harris, also helping out with this search.
As soon as I woke up this morning and saw the Facebook post, I immediately reached out to the family and to friends. Like, how can I help? And knowing that the situation is very serious and knowing what this family's going through, I just came immediately.
Now, her parents tell WVTM that she was last seen wearing all black and white Nike shoes. They are also putting this flyer.
So, after this report came out, the story immediately garnered national attention. And every single three-letter agency from the FBI to the Secret Service was put on alert. And millions of dollars in state and federal resources were deployed to locate Miss Russell. 48 hours after her disappearance, Carlee turned up at her parents' doorstep, giving us all a sigh of relief. Jesse, the receipts.
Great news for the family of that young woman who went missing following phone calls to say she was stopping along a highway to help a toddler she'd spotted. Police say Carlee Russell is back home this morning, and ABC's Morgan Norwood has more on what we know right now. Morgan, this case was unbelievable. So many people wondering what happened to her.
Yeah, good morning. Lots of questions, right? And you can imagine the shock, even relief from her family this morning. Police say Carlee Russell returned home overnight and was taken to the hospital for evaluation. And though she is safe, the mystery surrounding her disappearance, it deepens as police work to determine where she was for those 2 days and what happened.
This morning, after a frantic 48-hour search, police now say 25-year-old Carlee Russell has been found. The Hoover Police Department says Carlee had been taken to a local hospital overnight for evaluation. According to reports, Russell showed up at her family's front door. This news coming on the heels of an exhaustive statewide search that rocked this community. Detectives in Hoover, Alabama, fanning out across the city. Flyers on nearly every corner as her parents, Talitha and Carlos Russell, pleaded for the safe return of their daughter, missing since Thursday night. We were able to sit down with Carlee's parents before she was found, where they told us about their grueling search for their missing daughter.
It's a struggle, as sometimes you're numb, as sometimes the tears just flow. We probably have had 2 hours of sleep in the past 2 days.
Carlee's parents say they last spoke with her around 9:20 Thursday night when she called to let them know she was headed home from work. Well, 10 minutes later, Hoover police say she called 911 around 9:30 to report seeing a toddler walking alone on the side of Interstate 459. Soon after, Carlee makes another phone call, this time to her brother's girlfriend, who told Carlee's mother she overheard Carlee trying to help the child.
She was asking the child if they were okay from what my son's girlfriend could hear on the phone. She never heard a child say anything, and she heard my daughter scream, or what sounded like a scream.
Carlee's parents say they were able to track her location, but it pinged to a street behind I-459. When police went to the spot along the highway where Carlee called 911, they say they found Carlee's car with the door open, her keys, cell phone, hat, and wig all nearby, but no signs of Carlee or the toddler. As part of their investigation, police say they're now looking into this video from the traffic cam archive, appearing to show the moment a car pulls over on the side of the road. Over the weekend, the community throwing their support behind the Russell family, from prayer vigils to search parties, even celebrities rallying for Carlee's safe return.
Words can't really describe how it feels to know that the community really has our back.
And millions this morning continue to rally behind the family, joining them in that relief that Carlee has been found. This morning, though, it is unclear how Carlee returned home, but police do say that she was alone.
Now, it wasn't long until this story took a page from the book of critically acclaimed French author Juicy Smouillet. Jesse Maurice.
Breaking news out of Alabama tonight on Fox 5 News at 5. We're learning more about the disappearance of Carlee Russell. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tom Haynes.
And I'm Alex Whitler, in for Courtney Bryant. Police officers in Alabama say Russell called 911 last Thursday. They say that she was calling to report a child wandering off the interstate. 2 days later, after a massive search, she returned home. Officers say before she disappeared, Russell took a robe and toilet paper from her job. She then grabbed food, got on the interstate, and called 911. Police say they also found several suspicious searches on her phone.
On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term "you have to pay for an Amber Alert" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "how to take money from a register without being caught" was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "Birmingham bus station" was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th.
Authorities say they don't believe there's any threat to the public.
Carleethia, you sweet summer child. Look, you can be stupid and a criminal. You gotta pick a struggle, baby girl. You cannot be both. Like, when are you people going to realize that the biggest op is that phone in your pocket? Charlamagne the God made a really compelling point about this. He said that Google needs to come up with the why button. If you Google some dumb shit, like do you have to pay for an Amber Alert, Google should ask the reason behind your inquiry. Imagine a loved one walking up to you and asking you how to take money out of a register without getting caught. You will smack the weave off their head and tell them to sit their ass down in a corner somewhere. But personally for me, my Japanese meter began to go off the moment I heard the 911 call. A pantless white baby walking down the highway in the dead of the night? That is straight out of an M. Night Shyamalan movie plot. You're telling me that this black woman got out of her car on the side of a dark interstate to help a potentially possessed white baby? Why don't you just try to sell me the interstate in question? And then she says that an orange-haired redneck with a bald spot snatched off her wig and Apple Watch and threw her in the back of an 18-wheeler and fed her Cheez-Its for the following 48 hours. Carlee, haven't you learned anything from your mentor, Juicy Smouillet? You don't lie on Donald Trump's good name and get away with it. And now here we are. You not only embarrassed yourself and your family, brought ill repute to every single penniless white baby in the state of Alabama, squandered untold sums of taxpayers' money, but you have now also made it infinitely harder for past and future kidnapped victims of color to be believed. And all that for what? For what, Carlee? What, maybe a Dr. Phil interview and a couple extra followers on Instagram in hopes that they will convert into OnlyFans patrons? Anything less than a lengthy prison sentence, hefty fines, And a public apology to every penless baby in the state of Alabama will be an outrageous miscarriage of justice. And to all of you cloud-chasing hyenas, thinking to follow in Carlee's and Juicy Smouye's steps, remember, keep Donald Trump's name and likeness out of your goddamn mouth. Absolutely preposterous.